Welcome back, everyone. I'm Zell, and this is Late Night with Zell and Stassa. You've got me. I'm Zelrick from the Zelrick 42 YouTube channel, and we have with us the wonderful, that's him, Stassa 23 from Stassa 23 channel and Knife Therapy. And how are you doing, Stassa?
Oh, I'm always good when we're having our little nightly dose of night therapy.
No kidding, and we can see your screen tonight. This is awesome.
The stars are aligned tonight.
No kidding. And you've got some interesting new stuff up there. I've got some new stuff over on my desk. So,
Well, two of them. Well, one of them used to be mine, and that one, and another one I'm gonna be selling for a friend of mine. That's these two right here. Or trading one to two.
all right. Well, I've got some stuff we just sent over. I've got a new Spyderco, and what else? Oh, there's a newer Medford on the table over here too.
Oh wait, point to the Medford.
All right, the little one over there.
Oh, is that a micro?
Yes.
One day when the honeymoon wears off, I want to check it out.
So this one is actually in for abuse testing.
Oh, well, you can definitely say, I can handle that for you.
Yeah, it's
do a good pan over on it, like give it a good modeling. What steel is it? D2?
S35.
S35. What's the weight on those little guys?
Oh Lord, I don't know. Heavy. How's that?
Hey, Damon.
How you guys doing?
Question for you both. Next big purchase, CRK or Hinder? For me, CRK, just because of the nasty jimping behind the flipper tab. But that's just me.
But I'm going to absolutely disagree and say one of the tri-way pivot hinderers. Whether you're a half track, full track, XM8. Forgot to pull the plug on it.
I was about to say, something just happened. What's up, Banner? 93 pounds.
Yeah, something close to that. He's talking about the weight on the little micro Praetorian.
It's 2 bags of bricks and a feather.
But it really comes down to you, Damon. Because you've got a CRK over here. But I'll tell you, here's what happens. This little CRK is a sweet little knife. But I don't ever carry the silly thing. And yeah, it's just me. I just don't ever carry it. And the XM18, it gets carried fairly often. So
I might eventually have to buy that one from you. That's a lefty, right?
Yeah, this is that little lefty.
Just because I'm in the market to get another small 21. And I think I could get by with lefty.
Oh, yeah. You'd be fine.
Just as a user, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So they have non-flipper versions in the I don't know if I don't think they came out with non-flippers again in the Tri-Way?
I have not seen one yet. You should see them at USA Made Blade. And I believe DLT trade.
DLT, I know they had the choil-less ones as their exclusive, right?
Yeah, they had the no choil Sponto, I think was the only no choil.
Yeah, I don't think they've done a run of non-flippers since they stopped a while back,
huh? You can't have my eraser banner.
Come sit on Daddy's lap. I got some sharp thinking to talk about. Whoops.
Oh, that.
Oh, that's a beauty there, buddy. Is that marble carbon fiber?
Yeah. Leon does this. He's put out several knives this year, which is really weird for Leon. But
yeah, I know, huh?
The thing with Leon's designs, he's kind of like, say, Hinderer with the XM series, only his designs evolve over time. They're always recognizable, but you get or not you don't get, but they update and they change just a little bit. Like the eraser has updated itself with this version.
Yeah, I was really glad to see him do another eraser because shit, even the CRKT one was sweet.
I'd agree with that. Oh, you got a Dana Steel Kaiser.
Yeah, this is one of the ones that I'm selling or trading for a buddy. But there goes my dog. This one is been modded from, what is it, Alabama, EDC Alabama, I think it is. He blasted the tie frames, and it makes it so much better because it's got some grippiness.
Mm-hmm.
Like, much better. And I tell you what, that stainless Damascus is pretty nice. I would have much rather to see a deeper etch on that, being that, you're already going with the, the polish underneath. I think a deeper etch would have made that really pop. Kind of like the South Africans do.
Yeah. Good stuff, though.
Yeah. Let me know if y'all can hear my family in the background so I can tell them they need to be quiet.
About the only
Welcome
thing.
to live chat. Remember to guard your privacy by our community guidelines.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Yeah. It's not
beautiful blast.
Nothing. Banter's in there. He's misspelling things, or he has his internal monologue going again, and there's something going on about Gibson.
Yeah.
This guy. That's scary. All right, let me get you back over there. This
is the mini Tolk.
Yeah.
This was my big blade show purchase last year, I think it was, and I love this knife. It's so comfortable in hand, such a great knife, but the price tag kept me from using and enjoying it because it's above my comfort curve so far. And I ended up selling it to my buddy Copper Dice, and now I got it up for him. I'm either selling it or trading it for him.
That is a good question. When are we getting that?
What?
Banter?
Oh.
My friend. Whenever you type those in, if the filter catches it, I most of the time I can't click the show button. Sorry, buddy. Basically,
what?
Basically, you had a message held for review that I just can't hit the show button on. We got to keep it family friendly, and we don't want YouTube slamming us.
Yeah, and it just makes things easier. To answer Hearn, the neon review should be coming. I would say hopefully the next couple of weeks. I'm doing some editing on that, and I still got a few of my normal tests to do on it. Hopefully it won't be long. That's just one of the reviews that don't rush to do because it's not a new knife. And it's not an easily attainable knife, so not a lot of people will end up watching it unless they want to know how it bit me.
Right.
But that's why. And when a knife's been out for a little while, and besides just the aesthetics, you really want to give them a good idea of what to expect after using the knife.
Right. Oh, somebody is asking already about the versions coming out with our designs and timelines, if available. The Roxy is available at your local dealer in limited quantities right now. There may possibly be some more versions of it come out later in the year, but for now, what's out there is out there, and if you grab it because there's not a lot of stock left. The bigger Roxy, the Roxy 4. How you doing, Doug? The Roxy 4 will be available right around Blade Show Atlanta, and The one that we're really excited about right now is we are working on getting all the final details wrapped up on the malware. And the malware should ship a week or two after Chinese New Year. And there will be, I don't think this version, this color is a no. It's not happening. There'll be a regular stonewashed, there'll be a stealth version, and there'll be a carbon fiber version. And I don't know if the carbon fiber version is going to ship immediately. The carbon fiber apparently is being cantankerous, so the yields haven't been really good on the knife. Sunshine 21. If you're gonna give me a Savivi, you're gonna have to give me the name.
Yeah, it's hard enough to remember the names.
I have 60 some knives in my freaking brain, and numbers don't do it except for 4 or 5 of them.
I'm gonna answer. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Zell.
Okay, so and also if things work out right, the malware will have a limited number of left-hand versions. I don't know where they're going to go, and I won't know till they hit dealers. So if you are a lefty and you're looking for something kind of stabby, be on the lookout for the malware. I wish I could tell you where they're going, but I don't know. I assume Blade HQ will get some, and I assume Knife Center will get some, and possibly White Mountain Knives. I do not have the MSRP on the malware, Herm, and I've been burnt too many times. I'm not going to take a guess on it because I'll just get burned again. Where is the best form of knives? You sell knives. Instagram is probably your place if you have a reasonable following.
And if you're on the forum, Blade forums is good. If you that and the USN, but the USN, I'm pretty sure you got to pay to get into the knife set, the Cove. It's been a while since I've done there, but speaking of the Larion, I was interested in one of those. So Troy, if you want, email me after the show tonight. Maybe we'll talk. Maybe we could. I don't know if you want to trade anything or not, but like I said, just email me.
All right. Have you got people jumping on your internet over there?
What's that?
Have you got people jumping on your internet over there? You're getting a little.
I don't know. Hold on, let me go ask him real quick. Hold on.
All right. So this guy. This is Ozark. Wyvern. I don't know. It's one of the dragon names. And this is something pretty cool out of Savivi. Several things different. One, hollow ground, nice and thin. Got a nicely done swedge in it and all black hardware. Titanium clip, and it's FRN. Fiber reinforced nylon. Get some light over here where we can see it. Wow.
Well, if you're leaving, bye, Joel. Love you.
And just really cool. And this one is 50-something. Yes, Savivi Wyvern, or yeah, that's how you spell it. Wyvern. Really freaking just a cool novel, in my opinion. And I like the fact that they're trying some extra stuff using the FRN and the such like. It makes for a really light knife. I don't have the scales out here. Yeah, I do have the scales out here. So,
how's it doing, Zell? Is it still bad?
I have to swap over to see it.
Well, just wait till we have to. Just wait until we end up swapping. You started one today from White Mountain Knives.
These Wyverns.
No, it's a little fuzzy.
Yeah, you're still a little fuzzy.
I mean, the only thing I could do, I could chance swapping back over to that, but it might mess up things.
Oh, you can always go back in. That's not a big
Okay.
deal.
I'm gonna swap over. If it happens to do something, I'll just get back. I'll get out and come back in. Okay, guys.
Okay, no problem. We'll talk about these wyverns, and now we got a scale out here. 0.99 ounces on the wyvern. That's pretty freaking cool. Need a new place to put that. I mean, it doesn't come close to a native. A native's what? No, I guess it does. Native's 2 point. All right, have a good one, Banner. 0.4. Where's that? The beast. It's going to be like twice that thing. Actually, not. You guys see that? 4.83 on Micro Praetorian. Since we got it, I've been carrying this beast Praetorian. We'll see what it weighs. 6.72. I would have thought it would have weighed more. But
all right. Hopefully that helps out.
All right. Well, let's give it a shot.
That's all I got. How much is it?
I don't know.
How much was that? Oh, that was the full size Praetorian, huh?
Yeah, I can go back over there and we can look. The full size Praetorian surprised me. It's only 6.72 ounces. It's less than 7 ounces. Or not full size, it's a Genesis. And the little one was only 4.82 ounces. So, as big and nasty as it is, it's only about an ounce heavier, almost exactly an ounce heavier than the rock. So, not.
I can't see it. What is it? 4 what? 4.8?
4.82, and the Roxy's 3.
So
it's not as big and ugly. Slicey, you're in freaking New York. You're all frozen. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Oh yeah, it's not. It's not that bad here. It's like 40 something.
Yeah, well, it snowed outside, but I still think it's like low 30s here. That's okay. I'm packing up and going to Houston.
Negative 24. Yuck.
So, yeah, that's
I'm cold here just because of that.
No kidding. Well, we got the scale out here. Entry. That's their slip joint. Let's check that out.
That's an interesting little. That's an interesting little folder.
Yeah, 1.9 ounces. I mean, these things don't weigh anything. And here
I like that finish.
1.84 ounces. That's just great. Oh, getting overexcited over there.
I'm gonna mute it for a second. Go and put the shot collar on him. I'll be back.
All right. Okay. So what do we have? We talked about that. I do have this. What do you guys know about LC200N? I'm a newbie to it. I've heard all these good things, and I ended up with this. It's a native, right? I get all the Spydercos confused. They look the same. In LC200N. Pretty neat. I like the bright colors there, but don't know anything about the steel, except that it's supposedly good enough for the Salt series. You know, I do too. I don't want them to overdo it. They came out with 2 really cool finishes. 3, actually. We'll look at all 3 of them, Slicey. We've got this blade finish and handle finish. Thanks, Brian. And they even did that on the bolsters. On this, they have a full hand rub finish that is a very wee hand rub finish. It's not specifically like anybody else. They're going a little bit rougher, it looks like, and see if we can get it on the light there. And I actually like it quite a bit. I hope to see that one more often. And of course, we have the flamed finish they put on the Roxy. And now I'm going to say what nobody wants to hear. I don't want them to use it on everything. I don't want them to do like they did for a while, putting purple screws everywhere. I want them to choose knives that the finish fits on and do that. You know, whenever they come up with a knife that the finish would look really good on, use it. Don't just plaster it on everything.
Yeah, overkill it.
Right. In fact, I've got another one here. This is over on Instagram. Attack Dog is the Instagram name of the guy that
like that.
This. And this is a full weed prototyping testing stuff. So this is not a color or a blade finish that's going to come out on this knife. But look at this.
I like that.
Friggin' hand rub they got on here. That is, so nice. Well, they have all the way down the blade. Even up on the swedge, they've got a consistent hand rub. It's just freaking amazing. And then they did an orange peel on the handle.
I wish they would use that kind of hand rub on the blades they call hand rub.
It's coming. But yeah, this is a knife. I don't remember what I talked to him about it the other day. I don't remember what he called it, but I think we're going to get a nice surprise. We've got the scale out here. This is either, I think this is a full 4-inch knife. And I haven't even weighed it, but I think we're all going to get a surprise here.
It's yummy.
4.07 ounces. And that's all titanium. This guy is getting down into the realms of our Todd knife and some of our Todd knife and tool knives, like the Raptor XL that weighs, what, just over 5 at 4 1/4 inches?
Yeah, that's a nice one, too.
That's
Jack, what's a Guinness's, Jack?
What you got?
We's got something new called Guinness's. I'm just busting his balls.
I got Guinness's from everything, man.
I wouldn't doubt it. We's coming up with they always doing something new or crazy. So I thought the Guinness might be something new they're doing.
Oh, you never know. I can tell you the finishes are something that's been coming since last year. Is that a poker chip in the milling out?
How is that? How's that pocket clip? He meant to say. Him and Jack.
Okay.
We're messing. they got new work. What's the Roxy 4-way?
Okay, well, yeah, we'll get that here in just a second, Doug. In normal pants, this thing works, but this is the one thing that I told the designer that I will never give. I'll never sign off on one of these. There's no way.
It looks like it'd be like that pocket clip on that Kershaw, that Sinkovich Kershaw.
Yeah, anytime you sink the pocket clip, you have taken your knife and you have put it only in the easy use of people in slacks and single layer denim.
Yeah, that would probably only fit good in my shorts that I have to wear.
Yeah, I don't care for that, no matter how you do it. Okay, well, I wanted to wait on this one. Nick, what you got going on over there? They got me yakking about everything.
I was just listening.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I was reading the comments, and that's something. You y'all ready for a new topic? I got something.
All right. Well, let's hang on just a moment. 4.9 ounces on the big one, and that actually surprises me. I thought we were going to come in heavier than that because we use, and that is not yet milled out, and I think they're milling out the. They may not, but I think they're milling out the production versions.
On the Big Roxy?
They may. They were talking about they can't. And it's one of the things you and I have talked about this, and whenever you I've seen your Roxy video that you did, you guys will see it here real soon. One of the problems with milling out a Todd knife and tool knife internally is the way we mill the outside.
Yeah.
We mill the outside to drop weight because for us on a manual mill and to get the styling that we want, it's way easier to do and we get the look we want. And that thins everything up to where in some places, especially on the lock bar side, you could end up with structural integrity problems if you start milling too much on the inside. So there you go. That's why there's not much milling on the inside of our knives. Now, Best Tech, whenever they did the malware, they used some software that calculates structural integrity. It's actually a really fancy calculation. And they were able to put, this thing is stupid.
It's light, very light.
I mean, our carbon fiber backed version weighs in an ounce less, which is ridiculous and dumb. But this is 3.65 ounces, nearly a 4-inch blade, and wow, crazy. Anyhow, Stassa has a new topic for us, and that's a great idea.
All right, I was just looking over knife news a little bit before we got on, and seeing we do this. What are y'all thinking about the knife companies starting to venture off into making these production kitchen knives? I'm pretty excited about it. I mean, I love everything knife. It doesn't matter what kind of knife it is. I would love to get a nice set of kitchen knives from one of these companies that I love. I see we doing it. They got some really beautiful ones. I forgot the other two companies that are starting a line of kitchen knives, but what do y'all think about that? Is that something y'all be interested in too? I'm a professional. Well, then you should like it, huh?
Adam says he'll love it. Well,
yeah.
I'll give you my opinion. About a year and a half ago, Joe, the owner of We Knife Company, gifted my wife a ridiculous blade that I don't have down here to show, but it's a Santuco, I believe is the right term. In M390 with integral bolsters and some kind of, I think it's ebony or some kind of dark wood on it. And she's just really started using it, but it is gorgeous. And then whenever they came out with the production ones, it's still, yeah, they had to get the price under control because that thing that that knife that Joe gifted my wife is worth God knows how much. But, and consumers aren't going to pay that for a knife, even a professional chef. And yes, Steve, we have the Kitchen Lifestyles brand, and right now all they have is a Guto, but there is a Santuco and some others on the way. They are currently a Damascus type with a 60 plus hardness. So pretty cool. And I know about it. I've never understood why Woolstoff and a couple of other brands have owned the kitchen knife space.
Yeah, I mean, I guess being that, some of those companies just do them so well, I don't know. But you got, I guess it doesn't surprise me that your China companies are doing it because, that's something, that a lot of the styles are come from, like the Santuco and, those are, I guess, I'm pretty sure their origins are from there, right?
They're Japanese, but yeah, Asia.
In Asia. So I'm just kind of, I know I see a couple people, I know Kai's been doing them for a while. Sean, I know Boker does them. I know company do them, but it just seems like it's becoming something that I think all companies will have a line of here soon. And I like it. I think it's a great idea. Everybody needs a good set of kitchen knives. And if more and more start making them, the prices will start coming down. So you can get a nice, set of kitchen knives for, a good price.
Yeah, you're right, Adam. There are a lot of companies making chef's knives. But just like Steve said, Woolstoff and Hinkle's, they've had the contracts with the big stores. And then you have all of the junk knives. Not Zelrick, I can't say that word, Adam, but you know what I mean. Not those, but whenever you step down from those and stuff on the shelf goes whew, really fast.
Yep.
And I have purchased a set of Wolfstoffs, and I was so disappointed for the amount of money I spent.
Yeah.
In fact, I went back, did a bunch more reading, and bought a set of the Victorinox Fibrox knives.
How would the other knife companies be different than a good Hinkle? They can make good ones just as well. I mean, it says how would other knife companies be different than good Hinkles or Wusthoffs? Not that it'd be any better, but it just, the more you have, the cheaper they become.
That's true. And the other thing that I think is important here is whenever I was looking for chef knives, I wanted to know the specs. And Hinkle, Wolfstoff, Zollings, etc., they don't tell you the specs. They have these mystery steels and mystery hardnesses and mystery this and mystery that. All kinds of mystery. They're the greatest thing in the world, but they're not going to tell you anything about it. So whenever that came around and my wife was looking for a very specific style of chef knife, I went and bought a Shun. Why? Not because it was the prettiest one or the one that she wanted. It was because it was the one that gave me the specs. I knew exactly what I was purchasing.
Yeah.
And, that may not, it's obviously not important to the majority of people, but, and for the most part, not even professional chefs, I don't believe, because they have services that either swap out the knives or come in and sharpen the knives ever so often. So just one of those things. What else we got over there on your table? I saw something else new that I wanted you to yak about a little bit, Stassa.
New? This?
Yeah, that's the one.
The what's it called? Dang it! Now, it just drew me a blank there. What is it called? Dang it! The Kapara. The Kapara. I tell you, this right here is probably the most comfortable Spyderco I've had in my hand in a long time. And there goes my dog. Let me give him a good little jolt real quick. I love how this goes back. But I'll tell you right now, this right here, for me, is a prime example of why they need to stop slapping compression locks on so many of their knives. It doesn't make sense on this knife for me at all. See how it's thin right here?
Yeah.
When you come off of it, my first thing is to do this. Whoop. That's my first reaction. But no, I gotta pinch it real tightly because that compression lock's right behind there. And then I gotta, be careful what I'm doing. But I've been just doing this, just letting it fall like that and then turning it back over. But it's a great knife in use and super comfortable, choking up and back.
It's definitely an interesting looking one. Let's go back through here. Adam says, check out JapaneseChefKnife.com. I did. And it's kind of the same story. Sometimes they'll tell you exactly what the steel is, but to get to the point that I knew exactly what I was getting, I was at the point where I was spending way too much money. And Sunshine 21 says knife sharpening is $27 a week for our 12 knives, where Sunshine works, and yeah, that's part of it. If you're getting them sharpened weekly, they can almost be $410, and that'll be fine. But as long as you're not cutting bone and stuff. How you doing, Rick?
What's up, Rick? Yeah, Brian, I noticed that too. Now, Steve, the Kapara does have carbon fiber scales. Will you mean to say something else? I would love to put my Carta scales on mine, which I'm thinking about making a set because it would give that extra tactility I need when I'm closing it. What do you think? You think that part would look good with some OD green micarta scales on it or some natural?
Yeah, as long as they were left a little rough.
But yeah, that's the only way I do my micarta. Whenever I'm making it, I always make sure I leave. Right when I break the epoxy barrier, and you get that fur coming up, that's where I leave it. Perfect.
Yeah, Adam said, well, yeah, sharpening surfaces, they either apple seed it or hollow grind it, one of the two. And yeah, it eats knives up. But whenever you're working somewhere in a restaurant setting and the restaurant's paying for the knives, you don't care.
Yeah, true.
Okay, somebody wants to know what your top from the left number 4 and bottom left number 1. What are those things, Stassa?
Top, this guy.
What I think that's the way I thought.
This is the Best Tech Skyhawk. Love that clip point. I think that's the name of the Skyhawk.
I lost track of a couple of the names on some of the.
Too many names. And then which one? The first one on the bottom?
Yeah.
This is my heavily modded Ontario Carter Trinity. I did a flipper delete and I added a thumb stud and satin flats with acid washed primaries and swedge, and then I anoded this. So I did a whole lot of work on a $60 knife just to make it to where it was functional for me.
Yeah, that's one that could have been great from the factory, and they just watched it.
No doubt.
Okay, knife company that sharpens the knife supplies them as well. Yeah, that's quite often how it works. And, you know, my wife is, she's a bakery chef, like on her own. She doesn't go to a bakery and cook. She makes really fancy cakes and all that kind of stuff. And that is where you get people that want to have their own knives, or your very high-end chefs that want to have knives that fit them perfectly. You know, the professional chefs in the middle, not so much. I don't know. I mean, I've had plenty of the old hickory knives. They seem to work fine. I don't know if they're anything special. And Stassa has that little Berg up there.
Yeah, somebody was asking how it's been for me. It's good. It performs way better than I expected it to with this, beefy stock on there, but it's got such a nice hollow on it. It slices rather well. Now the blade shape is just super funky to me. It almost looks like I put it into the car door and I tried to pry it open and snapped it off. But other than that, it's got that same amazing weak quality. And I tell you, both of this one even more than the last one, it's so much of a custom feel to it. I guess it's because of that bolster lock and how seamless everything is. Just very well executed.
Oh man, T. Willie's got an Iron Wolf. And as far as shipping to Canada, Willie, I don't know. You asked earlier about the Roxy. Whenever we released the Roxy, it was really odd how it went out. The big dealers got the majority of them. And whenever I say the majority, they got like the vast majority. White Mountain, Knife Center, Blade HQ. All the other dealers were lucky to get one or two. And I don't know that any made it to Canada. And I don't know of any of the dealers that will ship to Canada right now. Canada is a major kind of an issue.
Yeah.
And there was another, Herm said, G10 handles with micarta or carbon fiber on a chef's knife. We could do G10 and we could do carbon fiber. On a chef's knife, we really couldn't do the kind of micarta that you're talking about.
Well, you wouldn't want to do that anyway because food getting stuck up in micarta would be nasty.
And that's exactly why we can't do it. Some of the paper micartas and some of the others you could technically do, but G10 or carbon fiber would be fine. Micarta would probably be a problem. Yeah, North Arms knives, the Skaha folks, they do several fixed blades and cooking knives.
Are they as hard to get as the folder?
No, they're much easier to get.
I actually just got the email saying that I'm up if I want to buy the Sky High, and it's been so long, I don't even like it anymore.
I had one in here. I wasn't terribly impressed, but
the same one, remember?
Yeah, but that leads us into something, and that I do want to talk about. We'll do another subject change here. Pretty good segue on that, Stassa. I want to talk about some things. This native showed up this week, and yeah, it's an
LC 200N.
200N. I was asking the guys while you were out, Stassa. I don't know a lot about LC 200N, but I'm going to learn.
I got a good bit of use on my Spidey shelf.
But the question, and it's kind of a big one. This is a general user knife, general EDC.
Yeah.
This Mannix 2, you can see it's got all kinds of crap there on the edge and stuff. It's a general use EDC knife. Even down here, your Roxy, even this little guy, general use EDC knives, your CRK knife. But whenever we start getting to the Arrakis, even though it's more general use than the previous one, the Eschaton, it's not really a general use EDC.
No.
Even this Draken here, even though it'll work, it's really not a general use EDC. This big old beast here, I may carry it every day, but most people aren't going to. And I think where I'm headed with this is I see a lot of people that want to talk about the newest, the coolest, the Arrakis, or this is going to make a good general EDC, but the Arrakis, or say this guy here who's getting a bit heavy to be a general EDC, or some other crazy knife. The malware even fits on the. It actually makes a good EDC knife, but it's not really designed. The question, and I know I'm reaching here because I didn't prepare well enough. I've been dealing with 3D printers all day. There he goes. The question is, do you have general EDC knives? And do you see the beauty in general EDC knives? Or are you just out there looking for the next coolest stuff?
What was the last part of that?
I don't know. You were ripping paper. We couldn't hear me.
I couldn't hear you. It sounded like you had your hand over the microphone.
The question is, are you after the cool knives?
Yeah.
Or do you get excited about a good general EDC like this one here? It's not the Deacon, it's the other one. Nick, what's it called?
The what?
This one here.
I don't know what that one's called.
You should. It came off of your list, buddy.
What, that one?
Yeah.
That knife?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never seen that knife before.
Yeah, you have.
That wee knife?
Yeah.
I don't know which one that is.
Several months ago, I was hurting to find a name, and you named it.
Oh. Dang it. Man, I don't remember what it was.
Thanks, Rick. Two of us that should have known the name. And Rick is the one and Nick and Rick. Nick Cass.
When you said that, I thought you meant that I had that knife here. I was like, man, I must be really losing it. you had me thinking my brain's more mush than it already is.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Like the Bishop, fairly general EDC knife, and I see a lot of you getting excited about the Bishop and the Deacon. And that warms my heart to know people are looking for general use EDC knives. But I find myself not as interested anymore. I mean, the Bishop's going to be a very good knife for people. For me, there's a problem with the way the blade's shaped. That's just not for me. I know for some of you it's perfect, but it's not.
Yeah, that one's not. That one kind of looks like that smaller guy that they had out a long time ago. Not the 605. It looked kind of like that.
Maybe I don't.
That Rocky scale looking. I don't know what it was called. I think it was before they named them.
Yeah, you have a good night too, Herm, and thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks.
We don't ever start the late knife talking about that because we're not out here trying to get money from y'all. It's just not what we're here for. You know, we can be completely honest. We're here because we like you guys and we like to hang out with you. And because I want to talk about design and learn from you guys and show you guys what we've been designing, what's coming out, and all the other fun stuff. But but what Herm just did there, throwing up $5, we really appreciate because we do have issues sometimes, and we're really trying to get something besides South Louisiana Internet for Stassa.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, is it working right now? Yeah, it's kind of working right now.
It's a little bit.
And it really helps whenever we have problems with our streaming gear and stuff. I had a bad memory module here a few weeks ago that happened right after I bought the Prusa i3, and it was like, Nick, I am not exactly sure, and I do have a magnet, but I don't. Yes, we are steel back spring. I didn't have a magnet last time we talked about this. But yeah, we are steel back springs.
Like GG Hawk knives have great mechanics. Yeah, that's something that I enjoy too. I enjoy some kind of new innovative thing or a design that I haven't really got into, but I typically go after, you know, what makes me excited, you know. I mean, and I'll be honest, there haven't been. It's only been a handful of blades in the last 4 months or so that really got me excited. And Zell, you're one of them. So,
well, I appreciate that.
I mean, I'm being honest. It just, I don't know. I mean, I know there's only so many ways to make a knife, but
it just the question came up whenever this. Let me swap back screens here. Whenever this native showed up, because I had, besides this big old Mannix, I hadn't had a native in my hand for several weeks, or had a Spyderco in my hand for several weeks. And I put the Spyderco in my hand and I was like, you know, that's familiar.
Yeah.
And
it's just nothing fun to it.
And I've never had a native, to be quite honest, but it's familiar because it's got those Spyderco ergonomics. And, and I don't hear people talking on the internet or anywhere else about Spyderco in their standard models anymore. But the guys that work around me, I hear them quite often talking about. One of the guys just the other day got some special edition of the Mannix. I think it was a G10 Mannix with what did it have, 20 CV or M390 or something in it. Yeah. And he paid more than I paid for my S110V version. Don't quite understand that, but
you know what I think it is, though. I think you got you know, more people want to talk about the new flashy stuff more. You know that, you know, it's not as hyped up. The older models, you know, are the just plain workers or the
Yeah.
non-fidget. Is in it, really, truthfully, a lot of it has to do with the fidget factor. I mean, let's just be honest, you know.
You have the fidgetiest knife on the planet right there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, a fidget factor is definitely a thing, you know. All knife guys fidget with their knives, or at least fondle them, whatever.
Which quiet carry, Sunshine?
Which one? I got two of them up here. This one right here. I got the review coming soon, and this one has really knocked my socks off. This one is just a beauty too. This one's just good looking.
I could not get into that one. I have one laying around here on one of these
The
desks.
chase.
Yeah,
the pocket clip area kind of throws me off in the opening of it, but as far as like a good general user, it's a pretty good low user.
I never got. I think I carried it like twice.
Man, I cannot breathe right now. My nose is so stopped up. Yeah, the IQ. Just wait. I just finished editing up all my testing because everybody said they want to see the testing, so I'm going to give it another shot, see if people actually watch it this time. But y'all definitely ought to check that video out and see how much this little guy was able to cut up and still be like printer paper sharp. It literally, I told you about this one, Hazel, remember?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, just wait. Like I edited. You'd be proud of me. I edited all the use up.
Oh, awesome.
Today, and I'm trying to decide whether I'm going to do a voiceover, like review, while while it's playing. Y'all tell me what y'all think, people. Should I just have the video of me doing the actual testing and talking while I'm cutting the stuff, or would y'all rather me show that the testing, and while the testing is going, do a voiceover review?
Okay, Rick, that's quiet carry IQ. You need to run and get your squirty stuff.
I'm about to have to. Man.
Yeah, I agree, Sunshine. And Adam, you know, I hear these newer Ganzos are getting much better.
Oh, are they?
However, I made a video quite some time ago whenever Ganzo direct copied some bird knives. And
Yeah.
I know, but they just blatantly direct copied them. And guys, I made a vow then, and Ganzo hadn't held up their end of the deal, so I'm not going to deal with them. How you doing, Kiefer? If they ever do, if they ever come clean and get things right over at Ganzo, I'd be happy to have some of their stuff on the channel again.
It looks like they're on the right path, at least. That's what their spokesperson came out in the last, I'd say the last 8 or 9 knives have been their design. So I probably gave them a second chance a little too early, but I just did it because I was doing my Amazon knife of the month. And it happened to be one of the ones I picked.
You know, here's this Kubi knife, and Stassa had one too there. I just don't touch Tucson. I know some people that have worked with Tucson, and they do have great value, but they also have great number of questions that go around their stuff. And how you doing, Dylan? But, you know, like Kubi, whenever I talk to the guys over at Kubi, this is what I was told. They had some backstock on some knives that they had that they knew that the community wasn't going to like, and I was like, okay, so what's up with that? And their answer to me was, whenever they're gone, they're gone. I said, does that mean whenever they're gone, or does that mean whenever they almost gone, we're going to make a few more and they won't be gone for 2 or 3 years? He said, no, when the stock is gone, whether it's bought by dealers or customers, it's over. So, you know, that's why I went ahead and dealt with the Kubi stuff. And it turned out really good. I like this knife a lot.
Yeah, the quality's definitely there.
Oh, no, Dylan. And, you know, we need an Archeo up on one of these desks, and I just haven't. Well, I haven't bought any knives in the past several
Yeah.
weeks.
Zell and I are hurting.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, if you guys don't know, I ordered a Prusa i3 Mark III, which is a 3D printer, and I finally got it all put together today. It comes in a kit, and that's whenever everything went south on me. As soon as I paid for that crazy thing, that's whenever everything went south.
Hey Zell, I'm gonna walk my dog real quick, but I'm gonna just turn my screen off for a second.
All right, man. Yeah, we're on my screen now, so we're good.
Yeah, but I'm still able to talk.
The honey badger.
I got one of those.
Yeah, and I happen to know a lot about the honey badger. There's nothing wrong with the honey badger, guys. That's a darn thing.
The honey badger's pretty well made.
Where to go? Where to go? Hang on. Oh, threw my glasses on the floor.
What you looking for, Zell?
Oh, I threw my glasses in the floor. This is a 0393. And as far as I'm concerned, it is the best ZT hinderer, even better than a 562. However, it comes down to price categories that you want to play in.
Which one is that?
The 0393.
Is that the sponsor one?
The Eclipse type one?
Yeah, I never could get into that one for some, but I mean, it's not really my thing. That's not really my style.
All right, well, it's a darn good knife. I even
Oh,
went.
yeah. No, I'm not, definitely not taking that away. It's a great, well-made knife. This is design dropping, dude.
If they just discounted this one and it's even cheaper, oh, yeah, it's a darn good knife. Really good. And one I should have done a review on, but I haven't.
I'll tell you what, the ergos are phenomenal on that knife.
This driver over here, Nick.
What's that?
Oh, somebody's asking about the driver. This one here is not a Scout driver. This one comes from Kerr Knives.
Oh, I like that one.
And it is pretty slick. I've talked to the guy over at Kerr some, and he makes drivers.
It kind of looks like the Scout driver, huh?
Well,
it's not as thick, huh? At the hand.
I've ended up with 3 different styles of driver in this.
Oh, I like the one on the right too.
In this journey to getting a driver made and trying to figure things out. And what I've found is people think they should all be the same length and a slightly different diameter. Because this is the fattest one. That's the skinniest one. We got O-rings on it to make it just as fat, a little fatter than this one.
You know what I've noticed though? Whenever I use my Scout leather driver, and then I got one of the like the taller drivers from Wyvern.
Yeah.
And whenever I'm trying to get a good balance between speed and stability, I noticed I always reach for that longer one for some reason. It's longer and skinnier. You know what I'm talking about? The one that Shabazz has.
Yeah, and that is why whenever our drivers do make it to production, they will be somewhat longer than the Scout drivers. They'll actually be not quite as big around as the Scout drivers.
Yeah.
And the head will be slightly bigger than all of these.
Yeah, I got a few designs drawn up. I could send you, see if you like any of the stuff.
Okay.
I just got the crap news that my Elijah Isham Abstruse is being delayed till March now.
Your what?
That pre-order I got on that new Elijah Isham Abstruse model.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be delivered in the middle of January. They delayed it once, and then now we got a second delay saying it'll be now it's supposed to be in the beginning of March.
No, that's wonderful.
But it's gonna. I think it's gonna be a pretty well liked knife because I got to handle that one, and it's just a good EDC. It's like it's not one of his art pieces. It's one of its users.
Yeah, and back to the 393. If you can get one at a good price, grab it. However, do realize that whenever this is a really good knife, it's better than any of the other ZT hinderers as far as I'm concerned. But you're locking yourself in at that $250 price point, and there'll be Cryaway Eclipses very soon, I'm sure, from Hinderer himself. So be aware of that. And I know that's a couple $100 more, but I can tell you that currently the difference between an XM18 with the Triway pivot and the 0562, it's worth spending the extra money to get the real Hinderer now that they've done the Triway pivot and stuff.
Speaking of Hinderers, what do you think about the new full track? I wish it wouldn't be so gigantic because I like the half track and all. I liked it a little bit bigger, but they went big.
What is the blade length on that dude?
I think it's like a 4-inch blade.
Oh yeah, I'm in.
I know. I was about to say that's why I brought it up because I figured that'd be something you would definitely like. I saw it on Shabazz's channel and I saw somebody else had it. Metal Efforts, maybe.
Yeah, well, maybe I knew it was out there. I just hadn't went and looked because I knew I'd want to buy it. And
yeah,
the Prussia's over there printing stuff, telling me you ain't got no money to buy a $100 and some knife.
Unless you can figure out make your 3D printer print some cash, you got to hold up.
Thanks, Nick. We appreciate it that you'll buy a driver. We are trying, hopefully, to make them reasonably priced. Our plan at this point is to have them steel, copper, I believe it is, and titanium. Steel and copper for users, titanium to look cool.
What about would a hard anodized aluminum would work, or?
If you do hard anodized aluminum, there is a guy that makes them in aluminum, but the problem with hard anodized aluminum is you have to put an insert in the driver. So you have a steel insert down in the end of the driver.
Yeah.
And, if you do it in brass, steel, copper, or titanium, all you've got to do is actually, Kerr does put an insert in his, but really all you have to do is rotary broach the end of the driver and drop a magnet down in there with some copper.
So it's not really feasible to do it like that then?
There's a couple of people doing it, and otherwise it would be. The only problem is the people that are doing it are here in the U.S. and it costs the same. And whenever we have ours to do, going with aluminum wouldn't save us any money.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. If it's not going to save you any money, then I would rather titanium, You can anodize them, you can do stuff with them, and they wear better.
Actually, I'm excited about the stainless ones. That's the ones I'm excited about. Good huh?
Stainless?
Yeah, good tough material. You can stone wash it. You can buff it. You can heat color it if you want to. I mean, stainless is a freaking awesome material, and you don't have to worry about it being soft. Like these gas and copper drivers got a nice weight to them. But one of the two of them that I've got, I've knocked the edges off all the skin, bouncing around the floor and stuff.
Yeah, I'd be interested in checking that out. I think have two drivers. All the take apart. I'm always. I would have for each.
All right, you're right over there, Nick. We're losing part of you.
What's up?
Okay, there you are.
I just popped it back up. Just looking at the comments. Maybe do it sort of stubby for better torque. Yeah, I was thinking it'd be nice if you could have one where you could shift like a bottom section to where if you wanted grip at the bottom, or if you needed that extra torque, you could slide it up toward the top so you could have some torque. But then you're getting crazy. Huh?
JCB's comment got me. I kind of agree with you, JCB, but then I don't. Here's why. I always use these long drivers, and whenever I'm working on a knife, whether it's one of these or something I've made, I use these power drivers, I think y'all calls them.
Yeah, the longer ones.
And you don't generally, if you have a good knife, I'm not talking about working on inexpensive knives here. If you're working on a Kershaw or one of the cheap Ganzos or some of the other stuff, yeah, you need some torque and you need to be able to get some pressure applied. Dang, you almost need a vise sometimes.
Yeah.
For knives, I mean. But if you're working on a better knife, what you really want to do is be able to see where the end of that driver is and how much you've turned it or haven't turned it. And so that's why our drivers are going to be just a smidge longer than these, and hopefully have enough set in there to hold the power bits properly. Nick, we try, because here's the bottom line. All right, Dylan, that's cool. Seth and I don't have to make knives. We don't have to do any of this stuff. We do it because we want to. We're not out to make $1 million. Well, actually, if we made $1 million, that'd be cool. We are capitalists. Don't get me wrong. But we got the time. We can afford the time to think things through and not have to worry about the next product, because we may not eat if we don't make the next product. We're still going to eat tomorrow, unless I buy another 3D printer, and then I may be on freaking ramen noodles for a while. Rick,
you might be out of the house after your wife kicked you out.
Actually, she likes this one. It's fairly quiet. Printing right now, and I don't think you guys can hear it.
No, I can't hear it at all.
The driver, Rick, we're working on it. There has been some communication problems on certain aspects, and I will hopefully know more better here in a couple of weeks on how soon that's going to be. Once we've got the design finalized, we should be able to bring it to market in a big hurry, because producing a driver like that is a whole lot cheaper, or a whole lot, not cheaper, a whole lot easier than it is to get a knife out. Nick Franquez says he got a Olamic Swish. Are you a fan, Stassa?
I like the aesthetics of it. It's just a little big for me, but it's definitely a cool knife. Olamic makes great knives.
We had the first Acid Rain Swish.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I liked it, but this is going to sound funny coming from me with the money that's laying on the table. But I didn't like it enough for what we spent on it.
How much did those go for?
We got the first one. Let's just say it was expensive.
I mean, I know none of them are cheap. I mean, look at my Busker, how much that thing cost.
Right. Well, it wasn't quite double what your Busker cost, but it wasn't far from it.
Yeah, man, it's funny though, because I mean, it's not like they don't like really charge that much of a different price for the sizes. Because I mean, Buskers range from 400 on up to like 7, 8.
Yeah. Well, and that's one of those things. We've talked about that many times. It doesn't cost any less to make the small knife. It just doesn't. People think that because there's less materials there, that it should cost less. But the material cost in a knife is pretty marginal most of the time. what costs is the milling, the time,
Yeah.
the design, all those things.
Man hours.
Well, yeah, all the man hours that are into these things. And I was sorry, I was reading a comment. And that's what happens. So that's why the small knives cost just as much as the big knives, because the materials are negligible.
Yeah.
Rick asks about the curs or the scouts. I will tell you, I've had this cur, and I like it, and I use it. But the one that always gets picked up, I believe this, Stassa, tell me, is this the brass one?
Copper.
Is this one. It's the copper one. Tooling costs are in there too, Sunshine. And it's because of the weight. You know that this one is in your hand, and it's just got a heavy weight. And Sunshine brings something up. The small knives, it's not just tooling costs. It's also, bring a couple of examples. Like, if you're going to mill this knife, it has to be exact, right? Absolutely. But there aren't any really small, little bitty things that have to be cut at all. It just has to be exact. So the cam program for the mill, not a big deal. Okay, this little guy. I don't know if you guys can see this. There we go. You see all those little ridges and everything in this little knife? I don't know what the price is on this thing, but the Gentry, I think, is like $190, and I would bet that this one is going to be about $190 too. And the reason is because of all of this intricate milling. All that little bitty milling just adds up. And it's because the mill isn't going to turn them out right every time. Whoever's checking these, they're probably throwing 1 out of 20 away or 1 out of 10 away or something. And, you know, everything adds up. Yeah, see, there you go, Stassa. Showing us those good user knives over there.
Yeah. I tell you what, this guy just, I want to like it so much, but the ergos just suck for me.
Yeah. Okay.
This little section.
Hang on. Sunshine wants to see this little guy. There we go. Sorry about that. I should be paying better attention. But this thing has got all kinds of little milling, little bitty milling spots in it. And
yeah, that'll break tooling too.
Yeah, it does. And so anytime you shrink a knife, the price generally doesn't shrink. And for good reason. You know, how Best Tech pulls off shrinking the price on their smaller knives, I don't know.
That'll always, though. I mean, they still charge a decent amount. I think they charge what they do because people think that they should be like that.
Do you think they're taking a smaller...
I don't know. I don't know. I just... Maybe not.
Yeah.
But I don't know how they're doing it.
And here is the Arrakis. People are going to want to see this guy. And
I can't get into that. Just, I don't know.
I think we and Elijah may have pulled this wrong. Because this is so much better a knife than the Eschaton.
It just feels like I've seen that design like 4 times already with the Eschaton and the Jason Browse design and the, I don't know.
Well, I kind of agree with you because, you know, this one is here. This one belongs to we. It's here to get a video, be in this video, and go to the Pass Around group. But I won't be getting one of these for myself.
That's what I was about to say. I know that's not something you'd buy, so I don't think you would.
Well, I have an Eschaton. In fact, I've got 2 of them.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. You have an Eschaton. Do you need another like design that's similar?
No, and
At that price tag?
no, and Pleroma Sunshine is a cool little knife. It's definitely not for me, but for somebody looking for that type of knife, it is pretty freaking sweet.
I actually have one here somewhere.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, my buddy Copper Dice let me borrow one. I don't know where the hell it's at, though.
Well, I don't know either.
That's not good.
No, but that's Copper
Might
Dice.
be. Hold on, it's. Yep, here it is. Yep, there it is.
Yeah, and that one sometime later this week will have more colors, I believe.
Yeah, they dropped the color they had at Blade Show on, I think, Blade HQ today.
Okay, so
With the gold. But I'll tell you what. If I ever do a trade with him for this guy, I prefer this what do you like, chrome look.
yeah, it's a good looking knife. My only issue with the knife is the thing that everyone has touted as something super special, and that's how it goes together.
And I didn't see that to be that crazy. I mean, with that little disc or whatever.
Oh, that's not that. Not that. It's the way they set the carbon fiber in there. Look at the end of the knife where the carbon fiber meets the the other end, where the carbon fiber meets the titanium.
Yeah.
Can you squeeze the carbon fiber on that one? Right there at the end of it?
No. You mean like where I can push it together?
Yeah, not that way, the other way.
Let me see.
The two sides, will they move very much?
I can get like a I mean, nothing that you can really see, but I see what you're saying.
Well, it's a case of material selection, and they use standard carbon fiber, which is fine. But there are going to be people in the future complaining about that knife because that carbon fiber has flexed. Because they used what they should have. They used a carbon fiber that would flex, but like I said, the problem is going to be it's going to flex and cause a little bit of misalignment back there, and the collector and the whiner is going to be upset in the future. You there, Stassa? Oh, you got
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was just talking to my daughter.
No problem.
Yeah, what'd you say?
I just said that they used a carbon fiber on that. There's the correct carbon fiber for the use case.
Yeah.
There's fiber that'll flex. And someone uses the heck out of that knife, that carbon fiber is going to flex. And the normal user, it's going to be great. They're not going to care or notice, but there's going to be some collectors out there and some whiners out there that whenever those pieces on that pivot end don't line up just perfectly, they're going to start whining.
Yeah. Which, I mean, if I want to be like really critical about it, it's not perfectly lining up. I'm like, that's like microscope looking,
Yeah, and it's not supposed to. Those two pieces of carbon fiber are supposed to flex.
Yeah.
But that's just something I noticed in the way they designed it, or way Elijah designed it, that is in the future at some point. There are going to be some whiners out there about that. Whenever it's done properly, it's just what they're going to whine about.
My only complaint so far on the knife that I've noticed, and I asked a couple people, there's one kind of like this one, and I don't remember the one I handled at Blade Show being like this. The one on this one right here, the lock bar is really stiff to like push over.
Well, the couple I've handled have been really good.
Yeah,
and good enough that if I like that sway back design, I'd own one, even knowing, because the flex and the carbon fiber is not going to bother me one bit. But I would use, if I like the sway back, I'd use the heck out of it, because I do like show the curve of the edge on that knife. You got a piece of paper or something you can put it up against?
Oh, hold on. Yeah. Let's see.
Box.
This will work.
There you go.
Yeah, it's got complete belly, like whoop.
It's got a slight belly all the way down it, and that is just freaking gorgeous.
Yeah, because if you didn't know any better, you looked at it like this, it looks just like a straight across. And if you're like glancing at it, you're like, wait, does my blade have a bit in it or something? And then you look at it closely, and I even did that today too. I was like, is there a recurve? What's going on here? And I noticed it's just a gradual belly.
Yeah, that's gorgeous. I love that. And people are asking about your SOCOM, Nick.
What about it? What about it? I tell you, the SOCOM for me has lately, or this guy has lately kicked the Spyderco military out of my pocket whenever I'm in need of a beast of a blade, or as far as length.
I think you were just missing the Raptor XL and had to try to get as close as you could.
Well, hey, that's because I don't have it. I need it back. I need it back.
You call Seth up. He probably sent it back over for a while.
He's supposed to send me something to play with. He said last time he had something he wanted me to check out.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll get them to you before Blade Show, but I think we're going to send you with an InfoSec.
I was about to say, or just whenever after Blade Show, if y'all got something.
Yeah, and I need to get this. I'm not sure it'll continue to be the Risty model, but what is currently the Risty model down to you. Because it is a really good one. You'll like it.
Which one? Which one's the Risky? Is it Risty or Risky?
Risty. R-I-S-T-I.
Yeah, that's what I thought you said. Yeah, I like that a lot. I love, boy, that carbon fiber is so beautiful. That's marble or shred?
Yeah, marble CF.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yes, Dylan, we saw the small RCO at SHOT Show, and that is cool. Like that a lot. And Nick Cat asked, is the Plamora or the Arrakis more of a functional knife?
The Pleroma is. I mean, I can't speak on the Arrakis, but
they are two knives in different shapes with the same blade. This one's just bigger.
You think? The Pleroma, you saying?
Yeah.
It's look at the blade, you mean?
Shape of the blade, and that is one of our Todd Knife and Tool designs. Nick. It's actually prototype 1.
I see what you're saying. Boom.
The actual blade shape, edge shape, I should say, edge contour.
Yeah.
Is pretty much the same between this and the Pleroma. This is just a longer one.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So, general use, they're going to be about the same. One's just more of a traditional knife, and one's more of a alien knife.
I'll tell you, I've had. He sent me this? I think I've had it for 3 days so far, and it took me a little while. Like at first, when I first grabbed this, I was like, "Oh man, I'm not gonna be able to use this." It just felt really awkward in hand. And then once I figured out how I like to grip it, it's good to go now.
Yep, I haven't got to mess with one a whole lot. I had a couple of them here, and then they were gone. It always works. Adam asks, how much of the knife is steel cost? Thanks,
We
Nick.
talked about that last one, huh?
All right, so we'll go through this like super quick. The actual blank piece of steel, the sheet of steel, the small chunk of that sheet that you get in your knife, just steel, costs very little. Most knives, we're talking less than $5. However, where the cost comes in is different steels eat tooling and time at different rates. And not just tooling, but they also wear on machines, et cetera, all that kind of stuff. For instance, what do I have? Oh, that isn't good. Yeah. This one B, this is, no, that one is, I believe that one's M390. The actual version of these coming out is going to be S35VN because we asked for it. But I need an S35VN knife, Stassa.
S35VN Thresher. Yep, there you go.
S35VN machines easily for a super steel or an actual knife steel. Machines easily, polishes up decently, doesn't tear up equipment too badly. S110V isn't really a good one to talk about because that steel is actually very expensive. So we'll do M390 right here. M390 costs about the same as the S35VN if you get down to the chunk of steel in the knife. However, M390 eats up tooling, causes more maintenance on the machines, eats up abrasives, harder to finish, etc., etc., etc. It eats up man hours and tools. That's why it costs more.
Yep.
And that's the quick and dirty on that stuff.
RS Wig, I had a great birthday, and for anybody who was on our live stream on my birthday, I don't know if y'all got to see that video my daughter did for me, but I couldn't have asked for a better birthday present ever.
No kidding. He's got an awesome daughter, guys. If you haven't seen that video, get over to the Stassa 23 channel and check that out.
It blew me away.
And Adam, here's the thing. You say chef knives, you get a whole bunch of steel compared to a folder. Yeah, you do. However, the steel is not the smallest cost in a knife, but okay. Where do I? Well, I've got a wee knife right here. There are more dollars worth of fasteners in this knife than there are steel.
Steel costs.
And where this comes in, where this is a big deal, is not just the materials, because the total lot of materials in one of these knives is probably less than 50 bucks. In fact, I can guarantee you it's less than 50 bucks. But whenever you start man hours, machine time, and parts of that machine and maintenance on that machine, tooling, abrasives, etc. And I didn't have the right thing up, but that's where all that stuff comes in. And there's the Enrique Payne guy.
I'm trying to think. There was another. Oh, I was asking Zell. I don't know. Have y'all seen the new iteration of the Fox Voxter? That thing looked beautiful. Hopefully, it's executed good. Because if so, I will be owning one. It's got that beautiful clip point blade that I love so much.
Yeah, you're all flippy on us.
Yeah, I'm all clipped out. But I got a plethora of blade shapes here that I love. You saw this guy?
So how did you end up with one of those?
This was a gift from my brother.
It's a Presidio, is that right?
The
Mini Presidio.
Mini. Not something that I would have personally bought myself, but it's a pretty cool knife. It's just a little like overbuilt.
Yeah.
It's got the aluminum over the stainless, you know. It's the black class where they're built for like tactical market, I guess.
Yeah.
It's a cool blade shape. I like that. But it's just not my first choice, you know.
That brings up something that just freaking freaks me out about Benchmade. They say first production number XXX of 1200
like that.
100 or whatever. And I'm not sure that makes it special. I've had some Benchmades that had that on there, and one of them was a reptilian that I bought new in a small shop in Arkansas. I don't know, 10 or 15 years after the first reptilian came out.
That's like I got one year not long after the ZTO 350 came out. I was at my local gun and knife what is it called, show?
Yeah.
And they had the ZTO 350, and I bought it. And about a month later, I realized it was serial number 0001.
Oh, wow.
But I contacted ZT about it because I was like, at first I thought it might have been a clone or something, but at that time they didn't have that. There wasn't a lot of clones out there, and they didn't have that one as it was. But I contacted them and gave her all the information, and she verified it. It was a authentic ZT, and she kind of burst my bubble just a little bit. She said it is a good collector piece, but it's not what you think it is. She said in the beginning, she said there's they make a handful of the 001s. They're the collector, like for the collectors.
Okay.
But she said though there's still, people will pay a premium, but she said the actual first one is in their shop. She said
Right.
They always keep the first one.
Right. Absolutely.
So, but it's still cool to know that, it was part of that first batch that came off.
Yeah. Well, let's go through. I do have some new Wii knives. We've kind of looked at them, but let's go through them here right quick and get Stazza's opinion on them. We have the Bishop. What do you think about that one?
That one doesn't do it for me.
Come on, name.
I know, but it just doesn't light my fire there.
All right. I get you. And we got the Arrakis.
Yeah, I already told you what I think about that one.
Right about the Arrakis.
Looks like that thing got shot by 12 gauge bird shot.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. For the Eschaton fan or the person that has been carrying an Eschaton, though.
Yeah, I see that.
I hope they buy one of these.
Oh, I mean, that would be like if you like. To me, that knife is like if you like the Eschaton and you wish it could be a good user. Now you have one. That's a good user.
And it's got a good weight. I haven't weighed it. I guess we throw the scale back out here. But it's got a good weighty feel in hand. Not that.
Is that all titanium?
Yeah.
Are they going to be doing like any versions like the Eschaton was with the carbon fiber titanium mix?
I don't think so. I think they're all titanium. 3.8. So.
Oh, wow.
A little more weight to it.
Now, how big is that? Like, just a size comparison up against, like, I don't know, that native.
Well, here's a 4-inch blade knife. We'll put it up beside it. That way we have an exact number to look at.
So what is it, about 3.5?
Yeah, it looks like it's around a 3.5.
Okay, because I thought it was a lot bigger than it appeared to be. It appeared to be a lot bigger.
Just leave our 4-inch reference up there. Let's see. We talked about the Wyvern a little bit. I think that one, you were out whenever we were talking about
that. FRN scales?
It is FRN. They have black the hardware. Hardware on this one is stainless. Does
that
have the
pretty cool looking
flip. It's got the dragon scale look to it. And I like what they've done with the pivot for the Civivi.
Now, is that texture, offer any grip?
Yeah. Yeah, but it's not aggressive grip, so it's good. And it's hollow ground.
That looks like it'd be a really good user.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And we have this Tatera, and this is going to be...
I like that one a lot.
This is more of your hard user for the Civivi line. It's D2, I believe. Yeah. It's going to be in that $60 category.
The only thing that for me kind of kills it is I can't stand the gold liners. I just I can't get past it. I know a lot of people like it. I can't stand them.
I'm not going to say I like it, but I wish they would do like they did on some of the initial prototypes last year and they just had polished stainless in them. And I actually like those a lot better than either the blue or the gold.
Yeah, I would like that a lot better too.
It's another 3.4, I think, on this one. 3.4, 3.45 on that one. And here's the one people are going to be excited about. And if you give me just a moment here, I will grab an actual measuring instrument.
Well, I didn't realize how much size difference there was on those two slip joints.
Yeah, the Gentry is huge.
Yeah, I had no idea. I remember handling that blade and trying to get him to sell me the clip point one. They weren't having it.
Just under 3-inch on the stem. And all these are full half stops, and it's a full flat half stop. You know, full flat back there on the back of the blade. And this one's full titanium.
Did I tell you, speaking of half stops, did I tell you how the Manly Knives Peak is done? That's the backlog version. How they got it, like the end of the closing kind of feels like a backstop on a slip joint.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
I figured out how they did it. They like raised up the circular part of the tang. At the end, it has a ramp on it.
But these people are going to be interested. Gentry,
yeah, and Gentry, I like
just under 3 inches, and they actually put a blade hole in it. That is a full-on blade hole. I like that. Rather, it's more of that. Yeah, it's a traditional, but we're putting a bit of a modern take on it. And
more than a bit, it's got a lot of modern to it.
I like what they've done there, and I hope that others, do their thing, because I've talked about this a lot. People get really upset when I talk about it, especially the traditional knife guys.
Oh man, they are vicious.
But I want to see those traditional companies make some more modern stuff. Use traditional materials, except for the blade steel, and bring us some modern designs with some of those traditional materials. And I want to see this stuff. I want to see the modern makers of modern knives bring their materials to the traditional knives.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I want to see more diversity throughout, because, your heavy traditional companies, I think it'd be so cool to see their take on a modern type folder with traditional flair.
Yeah, and I actually went out looking yesterday for one of those case models, Case and Southern Grind.
Yeah, I had one of those to play.
But I wanted to be able to put it in my hands. I didn't want to just buy it because it has a bit of a history,
And not to mention, JT's got one. And I had her at Blade Show. It was well made, but man, it was expensive for what you're getting. I know you're splitting that cost between two companies, but whew.
Yeah, and here is the Jix. It's the second model from the Sticks.
The Sticks was a interesting folder. That's what I'd say. It was definitely tactical.
The Jix is right there with it. It's very much in the same vein. Mr. Williamson has just like us with Todd Knife and Tool. He's got his own style. And Nick asked to see the TKT knives. We'll do that again here real quick in just a moment. But he's got his own style. And the only thing that I didn't care for is the size of this choil right here. Other than that, man, it's a solid knife with a good look to it. And I'm not fussing about recurves anymore. As long as I can sharpen it with a sharp maker, I'm just not going to complain.
Yeah, I don't really mind so much a recurve. More so when that wasn't supposed to be there and it just jacks up the edge.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And back to the Todd Knife and Tool. The Roxy is out there in a flame pattern, in a stealth version with brass pocket clip too. They all have, well, except for the flame, are not brass, but
I was about to say, you better verify what you mean by that.
Pocket clips. and anodized titanium, and a standard model for everybody that wants the standard plain old thing, which is actually pretty nice. I like my favorite. I thought it was going to be the Flame because I've got the Roxy 4 in Flame, but my favorite ended up being the Stealth model. Like it a lot.
Now, put a side by side on the Stealth and the Flame, like close, so I could see the color different. Like, because at first I was thinking it was like it's just the color you get when you flame, right? Like that bronzy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a dark bronze, and then the Flame goes through kind of a bluey, purpley thing.
Ooh, that black is looking good with the wear marks on it.
Yeah, but the Stealth model, that's the one I have really liked.
Toward. I don't know which one went more.
This is the Roxy 4. It'll be out Blade Show Atlanta this year.
That's a beast.
It is a 4-inch big old PXE Warren Cliffy beast. And whenever I say big, we had that 4-inch knife out earlier. We'll get the same one we were using to measure against at Liang Ma Eraser. And, there you go. It's a beast. This one will come in S35VN. I have explained that before. All right, Brian, that is awesome. And Nick's got a Roxy coming too. Great, guys. We appreciate it, and we hope you enjoy those knives. And let us know what you think. Seriously.
Yeah.
Don't try to butter us up or kiss our rear ends or anything. We need to know what you think, because as we move forward, we want to make more cool stuff for you guys. And, yeah, we have our own set of things that are going to come with it, but anything we can learn from the community is awesome. And this one is the Malware. The Malware is coming from Bestech, and it will be a week or two after the Chinese holiday. Price for the Roxy 4. Strangely, now I have no confirmation or suggestion or anything yet, but it should come in somewhere around the Roxy price, mostly because we went back to S35VN on the Roxy 4. 2 reasons. One, it's a big knife. We wanted you to be able to sharpen it, drop it without major problems. And secondly, the Bowler factory had a fire whenever these knives started. The blades for these knives went into production. Oh yeah, Slicey was all into it and then sold it. Figured.
Yeah, he didn't get like I didn't have the cash. You lucky, Brian. I was gonna be buying that one from him, but he couldn't wait on me.
But anyhow, S35VN here, and last I knew, S35VN on the Malware. I do not have a price on the Malware, but I do have colors. It will come in a standard, something similar to this. It will come in an all black Stealth model, black stonewash, and it will be coming with a carbon fiber show size. And for those of you that are lefties, if everything comes through and assembly goes well, there will be a small number of left-handed Malware out there, probably at your major retailers like White Mountain, Blade HQ, and Knife Center. And if you are a lefty, whenever I say small number, I mean it. I know how you lefties are. Whenever something comes out left-handed, you guys snatch them all up, and rightly so.
Yeah.
And I know what the numbers are going to be if everything assembles the way it's supposed to, and it's going to be pretty small.
Yeah.
So be aware of that. Anyhow, moving along, we got another, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes we can go here.
Yeah, I'm going to probably have to push it to 15.
Okay. You know, that's fine with me. I do find it interesting here. You know, whenever we go on later at night, starting about right now, our average number of viewers
is
about double or more what we've got coming on earlier. Roxy 4 have a stealth model. We sure hope so, and we have asked that we get the same colorations for the Roxy 4 that we got for the Roxy. That is our goal, so that you as the consumer, if you decide to get both of them, you can have a pair. Because, you know, it would be, granted this one would need a black blade, but it would be cool to have two of the big and the little in the flame pattern, or the big and the little in the stealth model, or whatever. And we should also have a couple of reveals at Blade Show if everything goes right. No guarantees, but if everything goes right, we should.
Yeah, those are always fun. The Blade Show reveals.
I can talk about one more thing here real quick. Old Stassa 23 has been busting my tail about getting him one of these. So, the i3 Mark II Prusa is over there printing out the most gaudy metallic silver I can find. In fact, it's this color right here.
That's not bad.
This is a small piece, Stassa.
Hey.
It's got little metal flakes in it and everything.
I don't complain at all.
And for those people that have hung on for so long over at Patreon and have really got very little from me because I just don't have time for it. Now, this doesn't mean you can run over to Patreon and get you one. But the 3 or 4 of them that have hung on this long, I'm probably going to make them one. And, you know, here's the deal. Some of you have asked about them. If I could get this Prusa printing properly, I may make them available, though they're not going to be cheap. So it's not going to be something that you can just buy, you know, on a whim. Because I know it's just plastic, but it takes 6 to 10 hours to print one. Everyone Roxy and a frame anno with
yeah, Brian. You just buy. What you do is you buy both of them and you just swap them.
There you go.
That's easy.
That fixes it.
And then what you do is with the other one, once you get the thing you like, you just send me the other one, and I'll take it off your hands. That's boy. I should be called the knife whisperer.
Well, you see, Eldridge, if I had a lathe, which is the one tool I don't have here, I could just spin you up some washers, but I don't have a lathe, so you got to deal with the bearings, my friend.
What was he asking?
He wanted a Roxy on washers. However, stay tuned. If it is achieved, and I don't know if it will be, but if it is achieved, there will be a Todd Knife and Tool Knife on washers, possibly at Blade Show for a reveal.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be exciting if it does. Oh, yeah. I think I know what you're talking about.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
Yeah, it's something we discussed a while back, right? Not a while back, but after Blade Show West.
Yeah, I don't have one of our roller locks here on the table. We're excited. But we've been doing this deal where we leave a hook. In fact, I don't know, we'll do it this way. We leave a bit of a hook back here so that you can take a blade and roll it open with your thumb like that. Now, it's not a front flipper. Kind of looks like a front flipper, but they aren't. And we're hoping to get one of those done on washers. And the idea there is to have a knife that's easy to open, that's fairly quiet to open, and you can sit and fiddle with it all day in the office. And as long as you got a little bit of sound deadening, you're good to go. And it's just something different, something that we liked whenever we made the first couple of them. And I don't know. It's kind of fun. I'll be down in Houston this weekend. If I'm not too busy doing other things, I'll try to get some video of some of that, or maybe bring one back up here.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you like it, Rick. Now, I'm glad that you called it a roller loft too, because we have such a hard time with people trying to call it a front flipper, but we're doing it on bushings. Is it possible that after a good break end, it might front flip? Well, of course it is. But we are not going to call it a front flipper. We're not going to market it as a front flipper because we might. It
I'll
might.
tell you, I much prefer the aspect of a roller, like a slow roller, rather than trying to flip out. I don't get excited about a front flipper at all. I like I don't mind it whenever like y'all design how you can keep contact onto the blade the entire time.
Yeah, that's
That
exactly right, Stazza. That's one of the major things. I mean, the detent will not be as stiff as your normal flipper knife. The idea is to be able to do what Stazza's doing or was doing right there with that pleroma and just roll it open, except it'll be
the
with
top.
the top of the blade.
Yeah, I don't have any of my front
Your,
flippers that can be done like that. I can somewhat do that with my Feist, but it's not really intended that way.
will the busker do it?
Yeah, probably so. Let's see. I mean, it's got a pretty high exposed tank, so let's see. Yeah, you can do it.
Yeah, but that's very similar to what we're talking about with the roller lock. Not
Yeah,
flipping, rolling it open,
yeah,
nice and smooth.
yeah. And I like that. Especially, I tell you what, this busker has the most effortless detent. You can feel that detent. It's got the white ceramic detent instead of a black. And wow, it's the silkiest opening I've ever felt on a knife. Very, very smooth. Now, why don't you see? Uh, this is the first time I've ever seen. Well, no, not the first time, but why don't you see many white ceramic, like ball bearings and stuff like that,
You really
using the black ceramics? Huh?
You really want to know why?
Yeah.
Uh, it's density,
It's what?
density,
Is
and
it?
porous. Unless you're willing to spend on the white ceramic,
Oh, that's what I wanted to know. I didn't know if they were more expensive.
uh, the white ceramic that is about the same price as black ceramic is less dense and more porous. What I understand. Now, don't quote me on that. That's just what I've been told. And if you want really good, tight white ceramic, the little balls get kind of expensive. And if you're a knife maker or manufacturing knife, the problem with them little balls is every time you try to get one out or your machine tries to do one, you lose three.
Yeah.
And and the black, for whatever reason, whatever different material they're made out of, they're more consistent as far as porousness, very little porousness in them.
It is there any difference on the slickness of them?
Uh, at the same price, yeah, the white one won't be as slick.
Really?
But the more you spend on the white, the fewer pores you get, and the better
So
it is. However, it might be. Do you have just a dab of oil on that detent?
yeah, I always have some
Well,
usually 85 weight on the detent.
it might be the fact that the little pores in that white ball are holding them.
That and I'm sure. I mean, it probably could be to do with the what you call it, just perfect, true, and the finish
Yeah,
was done nicely.
absolutely.
It's got a pretty high finish underneath there.
Yeah, and your lock bar tension and everything else, all of it plays into it.
Yeah, no doubt.
We
Oh
don't have
man,
Brian here, Eldridge.
what? What knife? Are you Brian?
I'm not Brian.
Oh, no, Brian.
Just looking for Brian.
Brian. All right, fellas. Usually I'd stay up. Hey, we ain't gonna be that much longer either, Dylan. I'm feeling like dog booty too.
Yeah. You have a good night, Dylan.
Yeah, you have a good one, man. Congratulations on all your publicity this past week. I think it was. Huh? Did
Yeah.
you see the HEA? Yeah, I actually got to handle the HEA Design Hunter, and man, I want one so bad. That's right up my alley as far as size and weight and all that. It's a cool knife.
And no problem, Nick. That's what we're here to do with these late knife deals. It's about having a good time, connecting with you guys, learning from you guys, and helping you guys learn.
Yep, and having somebody to talk knives with.
Absolutely. We all got to have our knife therapy, and we got to have a Stassa to have knife therapy.
Yeah.
He's the ringleader on this mess whenever it comes to the knife therapy.
Yep. Man, you know what I just noticed today? I was doing a little cutting with this Pleroma, and man, this thing's ground pretty darn thin. I think this one measured at 13 thousandths behind the edge.
Well, whenever you take We Knife Company and you beat on them for 2 years, all of a sudden all their knives get thin.
I tell you what, there's a few companies, won't name any names, but there's a few that they better get on that train soon, or I won't be buying any more from them because.
Well, and that right there is exactly what happened to some of these companies. People told them they need to be thinner behind the edge. You need to be thinner behind the edge. And they were still selling knives like hotcakes. So they were like, whatever. Yeah. And then here, it affected all the knife companies. It was about a year and a half ago. There was a bit of a slowdown in knife sales. And all of these companies went, okay, so what have the customers been asking for? Because apparently we're doing something wrong. And they weren't doing anything wrong. There was just a major slowdown across the entire industry.
Yeah.
We've talked about it. I've got this SMF that is right around 20 thousandths behind the edge, which is just crazy.
Yeah. No, it's 20,000. You said.
Yeah, right about 20, I believe.
Man, I wish my older model would be like that. My older one has got the old grind on it, and it's as thick as can be. It's like 30,000 on the edge.
Well, I've thought about that, and we've talked about it a little bit. I almost wish that this SMF was 25, 28 thousandths behind the edge.
Yeah, definitely. I just wish it had being it's intended for a worker. I wish it would still at like a 25 thousandths. I mean, to me, 25 thousandths, you can still use it, abuse it.
Yeah. Blade Banner's asking about an M16 Classic. Here's my problem. I have attempted to buy an M16 from CRKT on about 6 different occasions, and every one of them has been junk.
Yeah, I've had one. The Classic, is that the new one or something? Huh, David?
I don't know. We'll have to see what David has to say. And you're
we're about to lose me. My battery's about to die.
All right, man. Well, we've been on for 2 hours. It's about time to call her quits anyhow. And even though our nighttime crowd will start to show up on us.
Yeah, I know, huh?
But that's okay.
Like, sweet, I caught him.
So, re-release the original design. Okay, I'll have to check that out. I don't know. After 5 or 6 of them that were pretty crappy, I don't know if I could do it.
Yeah, that's how I feel too.
I agree.
I appreciate everybody for showing up, for hanging out with us. We always enjoy it. If there's ever any topics y'all would like for us to talk about the next go round, y'all just leave it in the comment section. We'll look at it, and maybe we'll have it. If we need something, we'll use it. Absolutely. And all right, Zell, y'all take it easy, everybody.
All right, it's been a great time, guys. I really appreciate you hanging out with us, and we'll be doing this again soon. And you guys have a great night. and we'll see you next time.